the enforcement as an enforcement strategy.
WASREB, celebrating 20 years of water services regulation.
Unajua, token meter yako inahitaji system update. Ni rahisi na ni free. Ukipata ujumbe kutoka Kenya Power, yani SMS, weka kodi ya kwanza kureset, alafu weke kodi ya pili kuupdate ili token meter yako iendelee kufanya kazi kama kawaida. Update token meter yako. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Kenya Power and Lighting Company.
Nilianza kuendesha boda miaka michache iliyopita ili kuhudumia familia yangu. Sio kazi rahisi, lakini inaweka chakula mezani. Wakati huo nilifikiri ningeendesha boda kwa kasi, kukwepa na kuvuka barabara ovyo ovyo. Ningefanya chochote ili kufika napokwenda haraka. Lakini siku moja nilikuwa hospitalini kwa miezi 3. Kosa moja karibu liondoe kila kitu. Mwaka moja baada ya kutoka hospitalini, nilihudhuria mafunzo ya jinsi ya kuendesha boda kwa usalama. Boda ni life, lakini life si kitu. Katia kanuni za trafiki. Hakikisha unavaa helmet na reflector jacket wakati wote.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
This World Blood Donor Day, join us in celebrating 20 years of giving. Thanks to blood donors, I'm here today. Your donations gave me a second chance. Our healthcare heroes are grateful for your continued support and compassion. Every drop counts, and every donor is a hero. Join us in making a difference. Happy World Blood Donor Day 2024. This message is brought to you by the Kenya Blood Transfusion and Transplant Service.
Well, good evening from wherever you're watching us tonight. We can report authoritatively that residents in Nyali protested outside their Member of Parliament, Hausa Mohammed Ali's offices. They were accusing him of not declaring his position on the controversial Finance Bill 2024. All that coming up, including local stories that we have put for you together. Later on in this bulletin, we will be looking at the day's business. And at the tail end also we have an update on the world of sports, all that coming up. But first we want to look at the summary of the stories that we've put together for you tonight. And it begins right now. Gen Z protesters stormed the offices of the pro-finance with greetings of bitterness.
They must not obstruct, block, vandalize, or otherwise destroy any private or public property.
Interior CS Kithure Kindiki issues warning that government won't entertain lawlessness during tomorrow's planned anti-finance bill protests. Mission to Haiti finally takes shape. President Ruto flags off the first batch of 400 police officers. For joining us, my name is Mboya. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Brian Muraru. Our socials at KBC Channel 1. Let's start off with our lead story. The government is warning Kenyans planning to hold demos against the Finance Bill 2024 that lawlessness will not be entertained. Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki says protesters must remain peaceful and unarmed and must finish their activities by 6:30 or by dusk. This as Azimio One Kenya Coalition directed its members of the National Assembly to withdraw amendments to the Finance Bill, instead rejecting it in totality.
As a section of Kenyans commit to stage demonstrations against the Finance Bill 2024, the government is assuring the rest of the citizenry that their rights will be protected by the state.
Lazima wazingatie katiba na sheria ya nchi ya Kenya. Wasidhulumu wananchi.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki warning the protesters against intimidating or causing inconveniences to members of the public going about their businesses or interfering with traffic.
They must not intimidate, harass, or otherwise inconvenience members of the public who are not protesting. They must inform the police of their intentions to exercise this right.
Further, the government insists the protesters must inform the police of the routes and the timings of the activities. These street activities, according to CS Kindiki, must be concluded by 6:30 p.m. or by dusk.
They must not obstruct, block, vandalize, or otherwise destroy any private or public property.
This comes as Azimio One Kenya Coalition directed its MPs to withdraw amendments to the Finance Bill 2024 and instead reject.
All our members who had proposed some amendments to the bill have been directed to drop them altogether. We have got nothing to do with the bill.
Gishoki Washira, Prime Edition.
Meanwhile, anti-finance bill activist Boniface Mwangi, Hanifa Aden, and Haki Africa Executive Director Hussein Khalid were this evening released unconditionally by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations after hours of grilling in connection to the Gen Z-led protests. The trio who spoke to the media revealed that detectives wanted to know the sponsors and organizers of the demos ahead of the planned protests on Tuesday. Giverson Minor with that report.
At the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI headquarters along Kiambu Road, anti-finance bill activist Boniface Mwangi, Hanifa Aden, and Haki Africa CEO Hussein Khalid, in company of their lawyers, who included former Chief Justice William Mutunga, arrived to record statements over the anti-finance bill protest as requested. However, in a sudden twist of events, the three were arrested and grilled for hours. They were later transferred to the regional police headquarters in Nairobi area, where they were detained for several hours before being released unconditionally.
There are two questions that were asked Mwangi, which I found very important. He was asked whether he's getting money from people. Okay, that was, are you getting money? He was asked about his social media activities, all right? And his answer was always, it's in the public domain.
But since now we're free and we're free to go home, we're asking the IG Comet to obey the law and to give us protection tomorrow.
We're going to come out tomorrow in large numbers because we need to be heard. This is a peaceful protest.
The activist said police denied involvement in the abduction of anti-finance bill protesters.
We asked him why the DCI is abducting people. He denied. He said abduction is a criminal act and the police are not involved in abductions. And we have one of our colleagues right now, Shadi, who is missing, and we demanded that he takes action.
This is as a section of opposition leaders drawn from the Jubilee Party, one of initiating the process to recall their lawmakers who voted in favor of the contentious bill during debate last Thursday.
The process is simple. correct signatures from your constituency. 30% as voters, it's no longer the 50%. Send the signatures to IEBC with a petition. IEBC will look at it. If they verify the signatures are correct, they would then forward it to Bunge. And that's the end of the story.
The Finance Bill 2024 is expected to be amended in a committee of the whole House in the National Assembly before the third reading on Tuesday. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition.
A group of protesters on Monday morning stormed the office of Nyali Member of Parliament Mohammed Ali, accusing him of not declaring his position on the controversial Financial Bill 2024. The protesters accused the lawmaker of not representing their interests in the National Assembly. Similar protests were witnessed in various parts of the country, including Kakamega County, where a group of youth stormed an event organized by the county women member of National Assembly, demanding an audience with Malava legislator Malulu Ijendi, whom they accuse of voting for the bill Thursday afternoon. Tilio Marco with that report.
Protesters in Nyali made good their threats to visit the constituency offices of their Member of Parliament Mohammed Ali. The protesters demanded to know why their MP did not stand up to be counted among those opposed to the Finance Bill 2024.
Tunataka kujua amekuwa very vocal in other policies. Kwa nini kwa hili jambo la reject finance bill amenyamaza? Kwa sasa we are going to hold our leaders accountable, and that's why we are here, because we want answers from him.
In Kakamega County, protesters stormed an event organized by the county woman member of the National Assembly, Elsie Muhanda. They attempted to smoke out Malava MP Malulu Injendi, whom they accused of voting for the bill.
Nataka kushukuru president kwa kusema ya kwamba ataongea na vijana. Yes. Hivyo ndio inatakikana.
The protesters chanted slogans and displayed posters denouncing the actions of the lawmaker.
Gen Z, reject! Gen Z, reject!
In Kisii County, a section of the youth has defended the ongoing demos, saying it's the only way of asserting their position in managing the country's affairs.
Wale ambao walikufa, hii government iweze kugharamia hiyo mazishi na iweze kulipa hiyo familia.
Tunataka serikali ambayo ina msimamo thabiti, ikisema imesema na iseme na kutenda. Hatutaki kudanganya, sisi si watoto tena. Gen Z! Gen Z! Reject.
Tilio Marco for Prime Edition.
Now, government has recorded a decline in cases of new HIV infections, tuberculosis and malaria, with a prevalence of 78%, 5.6% and 6% respectively. In a bid to further scale down the infections, government has inked 6 Global Fund grants worth 59.7 billion shillings to support HIV, tuberculosis and malaria interventions, and also to strengthen the health systems at community levels. Here's that report.
The government has assured Kenyans of attaining universal health coverage by partnering with different stakeholders in order to. Today, the Ministry of Health signed 6 Global Fund grants worth 59.7 billion shillings, an equivalent of $408 million, to support HIV, tuberculosis and malaria interventions for a period of 3 years.
We cannot talk about progress in health in Kenya without talking Global Fund. At this grant signing ceremony, we are pleased again that this partnership continues in line with the Sustainable Development Goals of people, peace, prosperity, and partnerships.
From the grant, $232.6 million worth approximately 34 billion shillings will be used in the procurement of HIV drugs, test kits and other laboratory supplies. $72.9 million, approximately 10.6 billion shillings, will help in the fight against malaria, while 67 equivalent of 9.9 billion shillings will ensure quality care and prevention of TB. The ministry has also set aside $34.6 million, approximately 5 billion shillings, to help strengthen health systems.
Partnership with Kenya started more than 20 years ago. And since then, as others have noted, we've signed $2 billion of grants in the fight against HIV, TB, malaria, COVID-19, and to strengthen systems for health. And these 6 new grants worth more than 400 million allow us to continue that fight for the next 3 years.
Speaking during the signing and commissioning of the new Kenya Medical Supply Chain Center, Principal Secretary for Public Health and Professional Standards Mary Modhoni lauded the decline recorded in new HIV infections, tuberculosis and malaria. 8%, 5.6% and 6% respectively.
We are distributing 15 million nets across the country. The distribution of the LLIN to communities has yielded tremendous progress in the fight against malaria, with a significant drop in malaria prevalence from 8% to around 6%. Therefore, we really want to thank.
The new fund will also support provision of quality services for all people with leprosy and lung diseases. Kasichana Masha, Prime Edition.
Women in the biomedical engineering field have called for their absorption of the workspace by various hospitals and organizations. During celebrations to mark the International Women in Engineering Day, the professionals decried that the field is still male-dominated. Millicent Olo, Secretary General of the Women in Biomedical Engineering Kenya, noted that insufficient working tools is the biggest hurdle in maintaining hospital equipment and devices.
They gathered to celebrate seasoned women biomedical engineers. It is a field that focuses on the maintenance and repair of hospital equipment and devices.
We advocate for women to be given these opportunities because most of the hospitals or most of the organizations that are employing biomedical engineers have not opened up to the fact that women can do it better.
Despite the field being male-dominated, they say there is still a shortage of about 7,000 biomedical engineers in the hospitals across the country.
Currently, we have about 900 biomedical engineers who have been employed by the government. However, we have about 10,000 who are out there who have graduated, some are working and some are not working.
To respect these great women, the medical engineers, and stop calling these funny names, Mama wa maintenance. I was working also in an hospital and they used to term me as Mama wa maintenance. We are professionals just like any other.
This shortage has largely affected the maintenance of sophisticated hospital equipment.
We have disruption of services and unfortunately even at times fatalities as a result of services not being available in facilities because of non-functional equipment. The challenges usually are as a result of non-trained biomedical engineers or not engineers, lack of availability of spare parts.
The International Women in Engineering Day is marked annually on 24th of June. Kamchemenza for Prime Edition.
The Director of the Press Service at the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Salim Swale, and 5 others have been detained until Tuesday in the afternoon when the court will rule on custodial orders of 14 days being sought by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. Milimani Principal Magistrate Ben Mark Ekubi made the decision following lengthy submissions by the prosecution and defense teams which went beyond 5 p.m.
On Tuesday, the court is expected to rule whether Otieno Japolo, Terry Kemunto, Daniel Omondi, Salim Swale, John Wabomba and James Makoha will be detained further pending investigations into alleged fraud and extortion.
I need time to record statement from main contractors who are based in UAE and who are victims in this case.
The prosecution is seeking to hold them for 14 days to complete the investigations.
On the part of the state, aided by that application and the affidavit annexed to it, the answers of the IO on the dock.
The defense, on the other hand, has requested bail pending investigations, stating that police have not provided compelling reasons to detain them.
This is a matter where the respondent is being dragged to you because people want that office vacant.
You must have taken their passports and taken their biodata, correct? And ascertained their nationalities, correct? Yes. Any chance any of the arrested persons is a citizen of any of the countries you're interested in?
Elsewhere, the DCI has been granted 14 days to continue detaining a middle-aged woman over alleged child theft.
the hope of the state, even as we seek for the 21 days, we can have progressive report of the 2 children. And you know, we pray even the accused person, apart from that rented house, we have no other information about her. She can relocate anytime.
Evelyn Bonarelli Okea was found by her neighbors with 2 toddlers, aged 7 weeks and 3 weeks respectively. The court was informed that preliminary investigation had revealed the children had been ferried from Vihiga County and police need time to unravel the truth.
Nime appreciate ile extent ya investigation na pia ina entail other counties which is far away from Nairobi. So naona hiyo application yao iko merited. So nitawakubalia hiyo ili wafanye uchunguzi kuhusiana na mambo ya watoto. So nitawapatia hiyo, nitakubali hiyo application yao, lakini utakuwa remanded pale Kilimani for 14 days.
Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
The Ministry of Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage has committed to empower 44,800 artists and copyright stakeholders by building their capacities and providing them with access to the requisite infrastructure and equipment to practice their trade. This is according to the Ministry of Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage Cabinet Secretary Aisha Juma, who says that the move will create employment opportunities for the women and youth directly and also indirectly. Juma made the pledge when she launched the strategic plan for the State Department for Culture.
Women, for the women and youth beneficiaries, both directly and indirectly.
That promise for the youth brings us to our first break. We are back in a while. Just stay with us.
Kikohozi cha muda wowote, kutokwa na jasho kwa wingi, usumbu kwenye kifua, afya kudhoofika, tafuta matibabu. Labda ni TB ni ugonjwa wa kweli. Ukipimwa matibabu yapo utapona. Daktari kushauri tumia dawa kwa nidhamu. Elimu tupashane tupige vita TB. Pimwa TB waishi poa.
Kurumisha ndege. Aviator instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Nilianza kuendesha boda miaka michache iliyopita ili kuhudumia familia yangu. Sio kazi rahisi, lakini inaweka chakula mezani. Wakati huo nilifikiria siwezi kushindwa. Ningeendesha boda kwa kasi, kukwepa na kuvuka barabara ovyo ovyo. Ningefanya chochote ili kufika napokwenda haraka. Siku moja nilikuwa hospitalini kwa miezi 3. Kosa moja karibu liondoe kila kitu. Mwaka moja baada ya kutoka hospitalini, nilihudhuria mafunzo ya jinsi ya kuendesha boda kwa usalama.
Boda ni life, lakini life si kitu bila usalama. Zingatia kanuni za trafiki. Hakikisha unavaa helmet na reflector jacket wakati wote.
Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
This World Blood Donor Day, join us in celebrating 20 years of giving. Thanks to blood donors, I'm here today. Your donations gave me a second chance.
In the spirit of celebrating World Music Day, we decided to take you to the world of rumba and benga.
Actually,
really appreciating the power of art. Kwa sababu wanasema sanaa ni kioo cha jamii.
Rajo in Somali means hope.
This message is brought to you by the Kenya Blood Transfusion and Transplant Service. The Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, KIPRA, will hold the 7th KIPRA Annual Regional Conference in Kisumu County from the 26th to the 28th of June 2024. The conference brings together state and non-state actors to exchange views on the future of industrialization in Kenya with a focus on the pathway Economic Transformation Agenda Better. The conference will officially be opened by the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto. The key objectives of the conference are as follows: assess the policy, legislative, and institutional framework in accelerating industrialization in Kenya, determine the capabilities for industrialization, explore financing for industrial activities, discuss value chain development, industrial crops, natural resources, and emerging sectors, examine the nexus between demographic characteristics and the industrialization process, discuss compliance of products to quality and standards, explore opportunities of green industrial initiatives, and explore industrial development enablers at the national and county levels, as well as the reliability and opportunities in industrial data. To learn more about the conference, visit www.kipraconference.org or call 0724 256 078. KIPRA, thinking policy together.
Welcome back, our socials at KBC Channel 1. Moving on, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogo says that the public school term dates will remain unchanged despite some schools breaking early for the midterm. According to the Ministry of Education, the midterm break commences Wednesday, the 26th of June and ends on Friday, the 28th of June. Learning is expected to resume on Monday, the 1st of July.
The normal term dates for half term is Wednesday the 26th. Ndio inaanza si leo si kesho. Kutoka hapo mtarudi siku ya Jumatatu.
Now, the government says that it's committed to addressing fragmented policies in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies to enable amendment, inclusion, and data protection. This is in line with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, as it looks forward to rolling out readiness assessment methodology in the 22 African countries, including 5 countries in the East African belt.
Under the theme Harnessing Artificial Intelligence for Sustainable Development in Eastern Africa, Governance, Ethics, Capacity and Partnerships, the Eastern Africa Sub-Regional Forum on Artificial Intelligence kicked off in Nairobi.
Let's join together as Africans and also as we go to the global north, understand us and give us solutions that fit us.
The 3-day forum intends to stimulate discourse on AI governance within the East Africa.
Exponential capacities are happening everywhere, are happening in the G20, are happening in the G7, are happening in New York for the Global Digital Compact. And with Kenya, we wanted to host the Eastern African Forum to bring the voices, very important voices of the African countries.
Kenya is among 5 Eastern Africa countries targeted by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization to implement the readiness assessment methodology.
Kenya just is the very first Eastern African country to deliver the readiness assessment, but we have Tanzania, Mauritius, we have Ethiopia, and we have 22 countries in Africa, but we have Asia, we have Latin America. And what we are seeing is that this readiness assessment methodology and the results, which is a set of recommendations, is being used by governments.
Educationists are calling for collaboration to forge strong policies that advance the use of AI amid fears that it's causing loss.
To revolutionize the way we teach and learn, making education more personalized, inclusive, and effective.
So the context of artificial intelligence must also be spoken within the context of trust. Because we talk about data, we talk about governance. Governance and data is a context of trust. Because people have real fears, and we know AI is one of the causes of fears. If you look at number 4 in terms of the cost of living, that's what we're experiencing. People have genuine fears.
Difference between where the private sector is and where the public sector is, that can both be a good thing and a bad thing, because we can leverage on, what has the successes and failures of integration of ICT into different sectors: education, agriculture, health.
The forum will also discuss finalization and implementation of the African Union Continental Strategy on Artificial Intelligence. Given that 70% of African population consists of the youths, this forum on artificial intelligence now calls for more impact on the youth and implementation of artificial intelligence, as Kenya says it has automated about 17,000 services. Serafina Robi for Prime Edition.
A student from St. Teresa's BKK Boys High School has been reported dead, and 5 others seriously injured after being involved in a road accident along Kitale-Eldoret Highway. The student was reportedly hit when he lost control of his bicycle and wandered into the middle of the road. These and more stories in our county news roundup.
A family in Kitale is mourning the death of their son, whose half-term break has turned tragic, courtesy of a deadly traffic accident. The truck also collided with a tuk-tuk that his fellow students had boarded, where the driver and 5 students were seriously injured. In Kiambu County, a section of matatu operators has appealed to President William Ruto not to assent to the Finance Bill 2024 if passed by Parliament.
Na sisi kama watu wa matatu, ile gharama sisi yenye itatupata angalau tena tutagawana na yule mwananchi wa kawaida. So tungeomba kabla hajaketi kusaini ile bill, aiangalie tena aone mahali yenye anaweza rekebisha, angalau acha kufinya mwananchi wa kawaida kabisa.
Non-governmental organizations have been urged to file their tax returns.
These returns will assist the government to plan, to understand where we are, to understand how much money they are pumping into our country, and we can also be able to direct them on which areas need more support.
Meanwhile, a section of women from Migori County say they are facing numerous challenges when trying to gain ownership of property, especially land.
Nilinunua shamba na baadaye wakati nilinunua shamba, huyo mwenye nilinunua shamba kwake akaniambia akuje tukae na yeye. Tukawa tumekaa na yeye, kumbe aim yake ilikuwa kuchukua hiyo title deed atoroke nayo. Nimeenda kwa FIDA Kisumu, nimeenda kwa gender sijapata usaidizi mpaka saa hii.
Finally, 121 officers in the Machakos County government have been struck off the county payroll for allegedly using fake Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education certificates to secure employment.
I direct the Chief Officer, Public Service, to within 2 days initiate the process of exiting these cases, these persons from the public service, and institute recovery of any and all earnings by these persons.
At the same time, 1,434 officers were interdicted for allegedly colluding to sabotage revenue collection in Mwala sub-county. For Prime Edition, I'm Christine Matunda.
A very good evening to you. Thank you for watching Prime Edition. Time to get the latest in the world of business. My name is Betty Kiptum. Kenya is looking to collaborate with other East African countries to bridge digital gaps as well as push the region. Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo, who was speaking during the East Africa Communications Organization Congress in Nairobi, says digital integration in East Africa will be achieved through digital technologies and innovations for local problems.
Kenya is at the forefront of technological innovations and is often referred to as the Silicon Savannah. According to the World Bank, Kenya's growth has outperformed every other sector, expanding by 23% annually during the last decade.
I'll just ask that you join us on
Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo says a government will forge collaborations in the East African region to help address barriers in the sector, including cyberbullying and e-waste management.
As the EAC grows with additional member states, our collective strength towards implementing some of these bold and progressive ideas should be more emboldened. As we embrace new frontiers of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the region cannot afford to be left behind.
He was speaking during the East Africa Communication Organization Congress, where member states have committed and agreed to foster a human-centric digital transformation in the region to utilize digital technologies and innovations for regional integration.
The region has made a lot of stride. I think it's one of the few sub-regions and regulatory frameworks. We are the most progressive region in Africa in the way the sector have developed. Working with the YACO and the government, we think we are going to take this sector to another level.
The move seeks to maximize the impact of digitalization as a driver for socio-economic growth. Owalo says Kenya serves as a regional ICT hub with well-established undersea fiber optic cables, providing high-speed and reliable connectivity and facilitating seamless communication.
The government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda has identified ICT deliberate interventions to make this a reality. Through our digital transformation agenda, we have set out sights on ensuring that our citizens have access to broadband services, affordable ICT services, and the requisite training on digital skills so that they can participate meaningfully in the digital economy.
Also committed to ensuring 100% 3G and 4G population coverage. 4G contributes up to 51.5% of total mobile data subscriptions. The deployment of 5G technology will present new opportunities for all sectors of our economy.
Rick Muki for Prime Edition.
And the Africa Development Bank is set to roll out a 105.4 million shillings rural transformation center, that is a digital platform project that aims to put farmers in a single electronic system. The platform plans to eliminate middlemen in the Irish value chains in 3 counties by linking them directly to the market.
The quantity of milk purchased by processors from farmers went up by 27.7% in the first quarter of this year as dairy production increased. According to the Kenya Dairy Board data, processors purchased a record 216.6 million litres between January and March compared to 169.6 million last year. To protect dairy farmers from exploitation by middlemen, the Cooperative University will roll out a Kenya Rural Transformation Center digital platform that will connect farmers with the market.
Designed to make sure even they are called feature phones. Yes, even the feature phones can be able to feed into the digital platform and be able to access information.
Already, farmers in Narok, Nakuru, Baringo and Nyandarua have been onboarded into the platform.
This digital platform is supposed to make sure that players within the value chains are visible to with one another.
The farmers have been organized in cooperatives where they sell milk directly to big processors, reducing milk hawking.
Bereni tulikuwa tunapeleka kwa barabara, mengine ilikuwa inachukuliwa na brokers. Sasa ikichukuliwa na brokers, sasa pengine mtu anakosa kulipwa, tena hata pesa inapotelea. Lakini kutoka tuanze mambo ya comparative, masiwa yangu sijakuwa na shida yoyote.
Counties have also purchased milk coolers for the farmers' cooperatives, reduced post-harvest losses.
Wakileta maziwa yao kwa dairy, at the end of the month, wakati ya payment, hawa na process na tunatengenezea hawa pesa zao in advance. By tarehe 5, tarehe 6, tumekuwa tumewalipa wakulima wote pesa zote za maziwa.
The cooperatives have also started value addition on milk, producing an array of milk products to increase their earnings. The AFDB digital platform will also see farmers and subsidy programs online. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
And Shetani lava flows in Tsavo West National Park are believed to be over 5 centuries old and still remain a subject of myth that has over the years attracted visitors, both local and foreign. It is said those who witnessed the eruption and lava flow thought it was the devil emerging from the crevices of the earth. Regina Manyara explores why Shetani lava remains a popular attraction in the Tsavo West National Park.
Located about 4 kilometers before the Chilu gate of Tsavo West, Shetani, meaning devil in Kiswahili, is a flat, treeless plain covered in dark rocks and sharp stones left behind by lava flows hundreds of years ago.
You may think a tractor was working on it last night. It is beautiful. And it is connected. Tsavo West and Chulu is connected by the lava, the volcanic lava, because the source of the lava is from the Chulu Hills National Park.
Though shrouded in mystery, it is among key attraction sites in Tsavo West National Park. It is said the ground at Shetani still moves because of continuing seismic activity. The desolate landscape of Shetani is captivating, and the aura of mystery makes it intriguing.
Our Kenyan people to come and enjoy the facilities that we have in Tsavo, and especially Tsavo West. It's an amazing area, and you will like it and you will come back again and again and again.
Those keen on hikes and exploration take advantage of the close proximity of Shetani caves to explore.
It sometimes reacts to a change in weather vagaries. When it is hot, it gets flat, but when water flows with the rains, that's the result, as you can see it behind me. Continue watching the travel series on KBC Channel 1. I'm Regina Manyara.
Beautiful Kenya. Now, to enhance its connectivity in East Africa, Air France has introduced flights from Paris Charles de Gaulle to Kilimanjaro in Tanzania beginning November 18, 2024. The move will expand long-haul network across the continent and improve service delivery to travelers in the region. Further, the route will connect tourists to Tanzania's famed Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in Africa and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where travelers can explore the surrounding Kilimanjaro National Park, renowned for its diverse ecosystems and wildlife, while making it an ideal starting point for safaris in Tanzania and neighboring Kenya. And that is the business news this evening. Of course, sports news is coming up with Karen Kibet, Marakwet Express on the other side of the studio. My name is Betty Kiptum. Have yourself a good night. Bye-bye.
Unajua, token mita yako inahitaji system update. Ni rahisi na ni free. Ukipata ujumbe kutoka Kenya Power, yani SMS, weka kodi ya kwanza kureset, alafu weke kodi ya pili kuupdate ili token mita yako iendelee kufanya kazi kama kawaida. Update token mita yako. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na Kenya Power and Lighting Company.
Kikohozi cha muda wowote, jasho kwa wingi usiku, uchungu kwenye kifua, afya kudhoofika, tafuta matibabu.
Something happened to Reynaldo?
No. Listen, I don't get it. What happened, and why are you here, Amparo?
Amparo, please tell me where's Reynaldo.
Lucila, you don't have to worry because he's doing really well and he's having so much fun. He's enjoying himself.
Asanteni sana kwa kuwezesha Lotomoto kuwafikia wengi wasiojiweza kupitia *570#. Hapo umewafuta wengi machozi, umewaelimisha, umewapa lishe na umewapa matibabu kwa namna tofauti. Asanteni.
Asanteni. Asanteni sana.
Na kwako wewe mchezaji wa Lotomoto, unajipa fursa ya kujishindia Probox nayo. Na kama Probox haikufai na umejishindia, tunakupa taslim 750,000 Kenyan shillings na mshindi na mtangaza 30th of June. Na mwezi wa July 28th na mtangaza mshindi wa Demio nayo. Na kama utaki na umeshinda, wacha gari, chukua chapa 750,000 Kenyan shillings kwenye *570#. Wewe si mshindi tu, wewe ni tegemeo kubwa. Tusaidie na tushinde!
Now, the first batch of 400 Kenyan police officers has been deployed to Haiti for UN peace mission. President Ruto flagged off the contingent of the National Police College, Embakasi campus in Nairobi. The head of state expressed confidence that the officers elected, based on their integrity, professionalism and capabilities, will work alongside their counterparts from other countries to help restore peace in the conflict-ridden Caribbean nation.
Monday at the National Police College Embakasi campus, the first group of 400 police officers in the United Nations peace mission to Haiti were flagged off.
You are undertaking a vital mission that transcends borders and cultures. Your presence in Haiti will bring hope and relief to communities torn apart by violence and ravaged by disorder. Both the Transitional Presidential Council and the Prime Minister have shared their expectations that you will support the Haitian police, National Police, in restoring public safety and security. As you perform this role, you are expected to embody the highest standards of integrity and professionalism, always bearing in mind that you are representatives of the mission's lead country and our ambassadors of stability and security as a country. Your performance in this assignment must be a firm statement of Kenya's capability and contribution to global peace and security, and a clear response to doubters and naysayers about your competence, integrity, and professionalism, as well as our nation's credentials.
William Ruto noting that though the people of Haiti were the first to liberate their land from slavery and colonialism, their freedom was short-lived.
The next contingent of your colleagues will be joining you soon. Proceed with the assurance that your deployment will quickly reach the required optimal numbers for you to undertake this most critical, urgent, and necessary mission.
This is the first time that the National Police Service is spearheading an international peace support system endorsed, sanctioned, and supported by the United Nations.
These officers will make a difference to the life of the Haitian police and the life of the Haitian communities, and they will make a difference and make us proud once they are deployed in those areas.
The head of state assured the officers that the international community has the confidence in Kenya to lead the peace mission in Haiti, even as he called on them to embody the highest standards of integrity.
Your families, the people of Kenya, the government of Kenya, and me as your president, we are all behind you. We will support you.
Meanwhile, President Ruto has announced a salary increment for police officers beginning next month in line with recommendations of the task force that was led by former Isufar reporting for Prime Edition.
Now, in this edition of the Cabinet, we'll delve into the life and legacy of Karisa Maitha, a man whose journey from being a clinical officer ascending to the position of a cabinet minister left an indelible mark on Kenya's political as well as social landscape. Known for his unwavering dedication to the underprivileged and his dynamic political career, Maitha's story is one of compassion, one of resilience, one of impactful leadership. Here is his story.
Karisa Maitha was born in 1954 and rose from a dedicated clinical officer to a politician of note and a cabinet minister. Maitha earned himself both a nickname, the Hurricane, and a title, Gogo. It was during his career as a clinical officer that Maitha began to endear himself with the underprivileged by offering medical services for free. Maitha joined elective politics in 1979 as a councillor of Mwakirunge ward in Kisaini constituency, a position he maintained until 1992 when he was elected Member of Parliament for Kisauni. Maitha lobbied for the legalization of mnazi, upon which many coastal palm tappers and traders depended on for a livelihood. Ahead of the 1997 general election, Maitha decamped from KANU, joined Mwai Kibaki's Democratic Party of Kenya. This followed his being implicated in the Likoni clashes that had erupted in August of 1997. Testimony from various parties to the Akiwumi Commission of Inquiry into the Likoni clashes later revealed that the attacks were politically instigated in a bid by some KANU politicians to retain their political dominance at the coast in the face of competition from other political parties. Maitha himself was implicated and investigated but denied any involvement. Maitha won the December 1997 elections. In 2002, he was re-elected, and Mwai Kibaki, who won the presidency, appointed him Minister for Local Government in 2000. While heading that docket, Maitha was responsible for the establishment of the Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund. Like a hurricane, he came unbidden and left behind him a trail of dismissed senior officials before he was transferred to the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. Aged 50, Maitha died in office on August 26 of 2004, while on official visit to Germany to market Kenya as a top tourist destination. He was laid to rest at his home in Mtwapa at the foot of a kapok tree in a spot he had chosen.
Grappling with climate change, a situation that has greatly contributed droughts in Kenya, negatively affecting livelihoods, ecosystems, and the economy. As a way of mitigating this challenge, the government of Kenya has continued to implement drought resilience and climate adaptation measures to reduce vulnerability and exposure. The National Drought Management Authority, NDMA, is mandated to coordinate the management of drought risk in the country with the view to preventing their slide into emergencies.
Multi-bonus. Zidisha ushindi wako hadi 1,000 na multi-bonus 1,000%. Kuwa mshindi. Mozartbet.
This World Blood Donor Day, join us in celebrating 20 years of giving. Thanks to blood donors, I'm here today. Your donations gave me a second chance.
In the spirit of celebrating World Music Day, we decided to take you to the world of rumba and benga.
Actually appreciating the power of art. Kwa sababu wanasema sana ni kioo cha jamii.
This message is brought to you by the Kenya Blood Transfusion and Transplant Service.
Sports News is brought to you by Mozart Bet.
A very good evening to you. Welcome back. I do hope you're holding up well. My name is Karen Kibet. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. Now, the National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa is drawn in Group B of this year's Paris Olympic Games. Shujaa will battle it out in the group with Samoa, Australia and second-seeded Argentina.
To improve on its showing at the previous games in Rio de Janeiro and Tokyo, where it was ranked 11th and 9th respectively. Shujaa will take on Samoa, Australia and Argentina in group matches. Tokyo silver medalist New Zealand are in Pool A, which consists of Ireland, South Africa and Japan. In Pool C, hosts France will take on defending and two-time champions Fiji, USA and Uruguay. The Olympic Games is scheduled on 26 July to August 11th, with the Rugby Sevens action taking center stage from 24th to 30th July at Stade de France. Meanwhile, Kenya's women national rugby team Lionesses will miss out on the Olympic Games after losing 24-7 to Hong Kong, China in the women's repechage final played in Monaco.
And now they've got the golden ticket on the way to Paris.
Moving on, the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOC, has entered into a 2-month partnership with automotive distributor Sifao Mobility Kenya. The partnership will see the automotive distributor provide 2 37-seater Mercedes buses for 2 months ahead of the Paris Olympic Games, slated for July 26th to August 11th in France.
Sifao Mobility Kenya Managing Director Avinda Reel stated that they are proud to support the 2024 Kenya Olympic team, with the partnership facilitating the movement of the squad. The company will provide 2 37-seater Mercedes buses, 2 Toyota Hilux pickups, 1 Volkswagen Tiguan and 1 Suzuki Grand Vitara that will be used by the team and the athletes for their training and transport around the country for a period of 2 months.
This sponsorship is a testament of our belief in power of sports to unite and inspire. It actually reflects our commitment to excellence and our unwavering support for those who strive to achieve greatness.
National Olympic Committee of Kenya President Paul Tergat noted that the support will aid the athletes and the team's coaches preparing for the games.
I stand here this morning to thank you and your team for coming in strongly in terms of supporting us, to see to it that all our athletes will have an opportunity for easy, smooth training because of what you have done with us today.
Athletics Kenya selected a squad of 35 athletes during the national trials held a fortnight ago and declared themselves ready for the championship. Africa headlines the list of the medal prospects at the Paris Games. Other notable names picked in the Kenyan squad include a 400-meter sensation Zablon Ekwam, double world champion Faith Kipyegon, as well as long-distance running legend Eliud Kipchoge. The 2024 Paris Olympic Games is set to kick off on July 26th through to August 11th in Paris, France.
Thank you, Okumu, for that report. ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo has reiterated the government's efforts to promote sports and talents in the country, speaking during a luncheon where he hosted newly crowned FKF Premier League champions Gor Mahia. Owalo lauded the team for their stellar performance this season, promising to support the club in their forthcoming continental assignments.
After bagging their 21st FKF Premier League title, Gor Mahia are optimistic of leaving mark on the continental stage, where they will take part in the CAF Champions League matches. ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo noted that it was a commendable achievement for Gor to lift the domestic title, challenging them to do well in the upcoming CAF Champions League matches.
I want to appeal to the players. As much as possible, let us try to keep together for the next 1 year so that we have got a strong foundation that will give the office the room to maneuver by just bringing in a few players in areas where we need to augment the effort of the players who are already in existence. The playing unit, you have 1 million shillings.
Owalo awarded the team a total of 2 million Kenya shillings. Ambrose Racher promised that the team will put their best foot forward in the forthcoming matches, reiterating their desire to retain the league crown next season.
For a long time, when I joined Gor Mahia in 2008, there was no sponsor. We have Azam giving us great support and KBC. So I want to thank them and to encourage them to please come to our aid.
Tusker FC finished second with 65 points, as Police FC finished third with 57 points. For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Thank you, Dan, for that report. The Kenya Under-23 national soccer team, the Emerging Stars, have intensified their training ahead of the upcoming COSAFA Cup in Port Elizabeth, South Africa, starting on 26th of June. The 34-man squad are in high spirits ahead of the championship. Anthony Akumu and Johnston Omurwa, as well as Alphonse Omija, Crispin Erambo, Baron Ochieng, Hani Fwesonga, Rooney Onyango, Casey Odhiambo, and Alpha Onyango are some of the players named in the head coach Kennedy Odhiambo squad. The team is expected to leave the country on Tuesday. Kenya has been pulled in Group B alongside Zambia, Comoros and Zimbabwe. The top teams from the 3 groups and the best runners-up from the 3 groups will advance to the tournament's semi-finals. It's all systems go for the 8th edition of the Kaptagat Forest Marathon, set to be held on 13th July at Kaptagat Girls High School. According to the National Treasury Principal Secretary and Kaptagat Marathon patron, Chris Kipto, this year's edition is aimed at mobilizing the local community in rehabilitation of Kaptagat Forest ecosystem. PS Kipto also revealed that this year's run will involve cycling, with a plan to attract the country's best cyclists. His sentiments were echoed by Forestry Principal Secretary Mugambi Kinyua, who noted that the marathon also acts as a unifying factor in the community. Sports Principal Secretary Peter Tum reiterated the ministry's support of the event, which is set to attract over 100 athletes.
It completely succeed, as now we replicate the similar models in the country for the good of for our restoration. So it is something which we are taking very seriously from the sector as a point to learn from and assist other areas of the country.
It's a region that has hosted an athletics from Iten all the way to Kaptagat, high training ground. Now our also cyclists are playing a major role there. So we want this PS2. Our vision is to run a cycling event that is world standard in Kaptagat.
Do we have people that are willing to support us? We are willing through the sports fund to see whether we can support this or we can support this. But at the end of the day, when you see the value chain from water, from forestry, from mass sports, and even the Ministry of Health itself, you can see there is a lot of, how do I put it, a value chain system that is being created.
Now, finally, Germany survived a scare to finish top of Group A as Niklas' stoppage time goal rescued a 1-1 draw against Switzerland, who scored early on through Dan Mboya in the 28th minute. Elsewhere, Scotland, after losing 1-0 to And that story brings us to the end of the sports news tonight. Thank you for keeping it KBC Prime Edition. My name is Karen Kibet. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place with more sports news. Don't go too far. Right after this short break, my colleague Mboya will be back with more. Good night.
Sports News was brought to you by Mozart Bet.
You can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
Thank you very much, Karen Kibet and Betty Kiptum and Brian Muraro, our sign language interpreter. My name is Mboya. We'll be back again tomorrow. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya.
Nilifikiria siwezi kushindwa. Ningeendesha boda kwa kasi, kukwepa na kuvuka barabara ovyo ovyo. Ningefanya chochote ili kufika napokwenda haraka. Lakini siku moja